Hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be showing you how I got this eye look, as well as giving you my thoughts on the Tati Beauty Textured Neutrals Volume 1 palette. So if you want to see how I got this eye look and hear my thoughts, then just keep on watching. Alright guys, so as you can see, I have my face makeup done already. I do have a little bit of foundation and concealer on my eyelids. That's usually what I do. I haven't set it yet because I wanted to use a shade from the Tati Beauty palette to do that. But normally I don't really use an eyeshadow primer. I do have one. I have the Urban Decay one. But a lot of times I'll just use my concealer and foundation just because I'm already doing that anyway. So might as well just put it on the eyes. I think it works fine. So yes, that is what I have on my lids. And I am using the Tati Beauty palette. This is what it looks like. I believe I kind of want to do like a pinky look. I honestly don't know how this is going to turn out, but I think I want to use the pinky colors. Oops. But first I am going to set my lid down with the matte Aura shade. So as you can see, none of the shades really have a name. Down here is what they are called. So like this is Aura, this whole column, and then the rows are defined by their texture. So like this is the matte, satin, metallic, glitter. Yeah, glitter. So I'm going to take matte Aura and just set my lid down with that. I hope you guys can see well. I wanted to zoom you in so you can actually see like what's going on the eyes. So I'm sorry if my actual face gets cut out a little bit. But that is the shade I'm taking. These shadows are extremely pigmented as well, so just keep that in mind. They are pigmented. Alright, so that is the lid just set down. Honestly, this is pretty close to my skin tone because I am so fair. So on somebody with a deeper skin tone than me, it might show up a little bit darker. But the first thing I think I want to do is I'm going to go in with Matte Soothe. Very lightly into the crease since I'm going to probably use the pinky tones. So I'm just going to take like a big fluffy crease brush here. And I'm trying to make sure you guys can see my eye. So I'm just taking a little bit. So there is a lot of kick up in the pan as well. You see all that? That's the kick up. Personally, for me, that doesn't bother me. I don't mind the kick up. I just blow it away. But I know for some people it does. So just keep that in mind. I always tap off the brush with this palette because again, they are pigmented shades. So just that little bit that I picked up, I mean I dipped in a couple times, but then I took off the excess, but as you see, there is lots of pigment there. So it's definitely pigmented shade. So it looks so much more intense in this inner part on camera than it does in real life, but for whatever reason, I feel like this eye, always one of my eyes is a problem every time I do eyeshadow. Alright, so I pretty much have both eyes mostly even. I know it looks like I'm missing some in that spot, and it doesn't really look like that in person, so but honestly, that's okay because I am going in with different shades anyway. So next what I want to do is I believe I'm going to take Matte Poet, this shade right here. And we're going to deepen the crease and outer corner with that, since that's going to be like the focal point of the look. As you can see, I'm just slowly building it on the outer portion first. I think with really pigmented shadows, the key is just going in little by little and going slowly, because it's a lot easier to add than it is to try to blend away. And don't worry so much like if the main part of the lid looks a little bit messy, because we are just going to cover that up. It's always this stage in the makeup look that I'm like, where is this even going? But then it all comes together, usually. I'm dragging into the crease more once I've already kind of put most of the product out on this outer corner, and then I'm just kind of lightly bringing that into the main part of the crease. As you can see, you can still see some of the matte Soothe shade, and then it comes into this. So you can still see the difference between the two shades. So you're not bringing this matte Poet shade as high as you are with the matte Soothe. So just keep that in mind, and it's just a matter of blending. Pretty much I want this pink shade to be right where like my socket, I guess, is, if that's what you call that. Alright, so that's where we're going to leave that for now, and then I'm going to go do this side really quick, do the same exact thing. I'm probably just going to speed you through this eye just to keep it a little bit faster, but alright, so here we are. I know it's not perfect. I think on this side I maybe need to add a little bit more of the matte Soothe just at the top. So what I want to do, I'm just going to take like a smaller, I mean it's still like a fluffy brush, but I'm just going to dip in lightly to that shade. I mean, I literally want to have, you're not going to be able to really see it, but it's not much on there at all, and I'm just lightly, I'm not even pressing it to my skin that hard, and I'm just blending out this edge. And now you can kind of see the gradient between the two a little bit better. I'm just going to quickly do that on this eye as well, just to blend out the edge. Now this shadow may be up higher than like you would like it, so you can just adjust how you want to do it. Everybody's eye shape is different too, so I don't know, for me, because I know this eye, I know I have a little bit of a hood, so I do like to try to bring my eyeshadow looks up a little bit higher, just so you can actually see like what is going on in the crease. Okay, so now what I want to do is I will go in with, I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Metallic Poet shade, which is this one. So far, just to recap, we did this in the outer crease, like the bigger, all through the crease. This was more focused on the outer corner and in the immediate crease, like in where your eye kind of rolls. And then now I'm going to put this one all over the lid. So what's unique about this palette is that technically all these shades are technically the same, they're just different textures. So they're all going to have a similar look. So, but I mean, they do look, like this looks definitely darker than this, but this is metallic, so it's just, but they're all meant to be like the same shade. So I'm just going to take that. I'm first going to take it on my flat brush and see how I like that, and then if I need to, I'll go in with my finger. So as you can see, it really does mostly look like the same color. I mean, you can see out here where it's deeper because I deepened it up. I built up the product. This is just first layer of the metallic Poet shade. So, just to give you an up close, I'm gonna do the same thing on this eye. Again, as you can see, it does look just a little bit deeper in the outer corner, but what's nice about these shades being the same, just different formulas, is that it does blend together well because it's the same color, you know? But I do think I want to do, I almost am debating on if I want to add the matte Ritual shade just to kind of deepen it up a little more. I guess, what the heck, it's just makeup, so we can give it a try. Okay. I'm literally going to take the very slightest amount of this because I don't want to mess this look up. I kind of like how it's looking so far. So I'm just taking a tiny bit of it. And once I've tapped it on the outer portion, I'm only dragging it in about halfway. So as you can see, that did just create like a little bit of depth, and a lot of times I do like to kind of just blend the outer corner with my finger just to not make it look so harsh. I will say on camera it is looking like a harsher line. Like when I'm looking at it in person, I really don't see that harsh separation, but I'm just gonna do the same thing on this eye now. And as you see, it just created a little bit of depth there. So what I'm gonna do is take that one, actually, you know what? I think I'm just gonna take this clean little tiny brush and just kind of blend out the edges just to make sure that nothing looks crazy. Sorry. Alright, and so now for the lower lash line, I will I'm gonna just take a pencil brush and I'm gonna do Matte Soothe. Run that along the entire lower lash line. And when I do my lower lash line, I do like to drag it out a little bit just to kind of connect the top and the bottom. As you can see, that really does just help to like connect the whole eye look and bring it all together. Then, just to deepen up the lower lash line, I'm going to take this flat definer brush and I will go in with the Ritual shade here. And I'm putting this extremely close to the lash line. Creating almost like a liner effect. And then on another pencil-y type of brush, I'm just going to take a little bit of Matte Poet, which is the main color that we use, and just put that focused on the outer to the half. For me personally, I feel like my lower lash line never really looks that good. I don't know if it's just my eye shape or what, but I do like to add a little bit of something there. So this is what it's looking like as of now. Then for the brow bone and inner corner, I'm going to take I'm just gonna take this little like flat brush and I'm gonna go in with Metallic Aura right here. Put that on the brow bone. You can definitely see that shine there. I'm focusing the bulk of the pigment at like the high point of my brow just to like emphasize that spot more. Alright, so that is pretty much the completed shadow. Let me go ahead and add liner mascara and then that'll be it for the eyes. Alright guys, so now that we did the tutorial, I want to give you my final thoughts on this palette. I've had this palette since the initial launch. My friend did buy me one and she bought herself one. A lot of times she'll do that when she knows I'm interested in something, and she did buy me this. But I've had it and I've been using it. This is not a first impressions. This is not my first time using the palette. This is what it looks like. I think it is just so beautiful. It is a larger palette, like here it is next to my head. It's definitely larger, but it's smaller than like the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, I'm pretty sure, and way smaller than like the James Charles Morphe palette. So I can easily fit this in my cosmetics bag with no problem. So as you saw, the look was relatively easy to create. I think this look looks like I put a lot of time into it. You know, I'm not a makeup artist, so of course my skills are not going to be at the same level as a makeup artist, somebody who's been practicing for a long time. I am just like your everyday consumer. So, you know, I think this look looks really done up and really good, and it didn't even take me that long. I mean, if I wasn't doing the tutorial for the camera, I could have had this look done even faster. I think this palette is really easy to work with. You do just need to keep in mind that like the matte shades, they are pigmented. So my advice when a shade is super pigmented is just go in light and then you can build up. It's easier to build up than blend out and try to correct too much pigment, you know? So the metallic shades, this row here, they are super soft. I think they are beautiful. They give just like a nice amount of like metallic look to the lid. I also do enjoy the sequin shades, which have more of those like little like flecks of sparkle. I think they're really pretty. I did not use them in this eye look, but I have used them previously, and I think they look really good. They do look mostly matte, but when the light kind of catches it in a certain way, you can see the little sparkle flecks, which I think is really cool because it's like, you know, you have to be in that right lighting for it to kind of give you that nice sparkle. So I really do enjoy that. Now, unfortunately, for me personally, this glitter row, I will not really be using, which is a shame because I was really excited for the glitters when I first got this palette, but I found out that these glitters are not intended for the eye area. Now, Tati does say that you can use them on the lid, just be careful because they are not intended for the eye area. So if a glitter particle gets in your eye, I guess you could run into some trouble. For me, I've heard too many horror stories about like non-eye safe glitters scratching the eye and causing infection, and for me, it is just not worth it to take that risk, unfortunately. They look beautiful, and I actually have one swatched on my hand to show you. This is the Poet one. Sorry, my camera is not focusing very well on it, but as you can see, it has a very nice, like, pretty shift to it. They are stunning glitters. But for me, I just don't want to take the risk on my eyes, so just keep that in mind if you are looking to purchase this palette, which it is available, by the way. I just checked her site and it is available, so you guys can purchase it at the time of me filming this, at least. I don't know when this video is going to go up because I'm filming a bunch, but it is available, so you can get it. I do think it is worth it. Again, just keep in mind that this glitter row is not intended for the eye area, which Tati Beauty is not the only brand that does this. ColourPop has pressed glitters like this. Even pressed pigments, some of them are not intended for the immediate eye area because they can cause irritation. But for me, I think glitters are more of a concern just because they can actually get in your eye and scratch them. And you know, for me, we only have 2 eyes, so I don't want to take a risk. I already have vision problems, so I am definitely like super grateful to be able to see in general. So I don't want any infection or anything like that. And I do wear contacts sometimes, so my eyes get more irritated as it is, so I just don't want to take the risk. But I have thought about maybe using these like on the body for maybe like festivals or something cool like that. I'm sure I can find some use for the glitter at some point, but honestly, I still think this palette is worth it even with just these 3 rows. Because if you think about it, with these 3 rows, you're still getting 18 shadows. And I think, let me look at how much the palette is. The palette is $48, so let's just divide that here. So you're really only paying like $2.67 a shade, which I think is pretty fair, honestly. And then again, if you can find a use for the glitters, then you're getting 24 shades. You are getting 24 shades. But if you're like me and you don't want to use the glitters on your eye, then basically think of it as you're getting 18 shades, you know? But again, I still think this palette is worth it. I am really excited to see what volumes will come next because she did title this Volume 1. So that means more will be coming. And, you know, I'm actually really happy that the price of this is $48. I think it's very, very fair. I mean, that's what, you know, other palettes in Sephora go for around that price. Some more expensive, some a little less. So I am pretty happy with the $48 price point given how many shades you get. I mean, like I said, you're getting 24 shades. But if you divide the price of this by all 24, you're really only paying $2 a shade. So it's like, where can you get a single shadow for that price? I don't really know of anywhere. So I really do think this palette is worth it. Like I said, this is not a first impressions. I have used this palette several times since I've gotten it. I do enjoy reaching for it. I actually posted a chatty get ready with me not too long ago, and I even dipped into this in conjunction with another palette. So I really do like this. Again, I just love the concept. This is not something we see that often. You know, usually you get a palette with a few different shimmers or mattes and it's not all the same color, but I really like how you can create uniform looks with this palette. I will definitely be doing more looks with this palette because I really want to do like a dark smoky eye with this column. I have not done that yet and I really want to because I think it would look amazing. And if you are willing to use the glitters on your eye, I think you can create some really cool looks. I have seen some videos on this palette. I know I am super late to the party with this review, but I also really wanted to give myself a chance to use it for a little while. But I've seen some looks with the glitters and oh my god, it looks incredible. Maybe one day I'll brave it, but I just don't think I can just because I'm so scared. And anytime I hear like somebody had like a experience sometime, like this whole glitter story that I've heard about a woman getting glitter in her eye has nothing to do with Tati or this palette, but it just freaks me out. So sometimes I get a little bit too paranoid. But anyway, I'm been rambling long enough. Overall, I definitely recommend this palette. I think it is great. Just keep in mind what I said about the glitters. You know, on her website, she has all the ingredients listed for each of the types of shades, so you can check that out. She does notate that the glitters are not intended for the eye area, so that is not something I'm making up. She has explicitly said it, and it is on her website. So yes, just keep that in mind if you're wanting to purchase this, but like I said, I do recommend it, and I am planning on doing more videos with this palette. So yes, that is all my thoughts on this palette. Anyway guys, so thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the eye look. I hope if you want to recreate it, I hope that it is easy enough to follow, to recreate. I thank you so much for watching the video, and please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you want to see more Tati Beauty Volume 1 tutorials, I will be glad to do so. And go ahead and leave a comment down below. Did you pick this palette up? Do you use the glitters? I would love to know your thoughts on the glitters. Even not just from this palette, but from other companies in general, putting glitters in their eye palettes. What do you think of that? Personally, like as I just mentioned, I won't use them on my eye, and it's not just Tati. If any palette has a glitter that's not intended for the eye area, I just won't use it. So it is what it is. Like I said, Tati's not the only one doing this. But anyway, please subscribe to my channel. It would mean so much to me if you would, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!